Okay, this is a video, really quick 5-step steps on how to take care of your bearded dragon, or if you're thinking about whether or not to get a bearded dragon. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned in my other videos, my bearded dragon had passed away. He was sick with cancer, so he had to go to heaven. So this is the stuff that I've left from him that I still have kept. And currently, because before him I also had another bearded dragon I also had to put down because of yellow fungus that it was just all kinds of problems that she had when I adopted her. So I am not ready for another bearded dragon. Probably never. I don't know yet. So who I have to join me in this video is my blue-tongued skink. Hi, Homer. Yeah, he's just waking up. So what you need to know is, number one, tank size, enclosure size. Bearded dragons need at minimum a 55-gallon tank, not a 40-gallon breeder. I mean, some people may disagree with this, and care sheets keep saying you need a 40-gallon breeder at minimum, which I personally do not believe is accurate, because especially how big they can get, it just, when you add a water bowl, you add decorations and so forth, by the time you're done, you already run out of space, floor space for your bearded dragon to move around in. So give them more space. Why not? Give them a minimum 55-gallon. You can pick one up cheaply or even for free on Craigslist. An aquarium tank for 55-gallon. Buy a mash lid on top and slap on top of it and you're done. They're not expensive at all. So get them a 55-gallon at minimum. You can also get a reptile habitat like I have here. This is my old bearded dragon's tank. The 75-gallon reptile habitat. You can spend the money to buy that. Especially if you're planning to keep your tank and use it for something else. I like snakes. You can even go as big as 125-gallon tank, you know. It really, size don't really deter adult bearded dragons. Babies maybe because they're so small. But for adults, you know, you can make your own enclosure. Make it work. For small bearded dragons, maybe they'll fit in a 40-gallon breeder, but I don't really agree. So number two, lights. Very important. Wrong lights, not enough UVB, your bearded dragon will not eat. So one of the number one complaints is, my bearded dragon is not eating. Help, 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 help. Check your temperature. Is it hot enough? Baby bearded dragons need it hotter than adult bearded dragons, about 105 degrees. Okay? Your UVB lights needs to be strong enough too. T5, high output. This is what I use for my bearded dragon and I put this on top of the mash lid. So if you're planning to put your lights on top of the mash lid, which filters out 70% of your rays, use something strong like this one, the T5, not the T8. The T5 is stronger than the T8. It is a little more expensive. I also recommend the fluorescent fixtures, not the coil ones, because it reaches your bearded dragon a lot more in the tank than the little coil ones. Okay? And make sure you check the size of your tank. So not all of them come in the same size, and it has to fit the fixture size as well. So if you buy a 24-inch, for example, fixture or bulb, it's not gonna fit in a fixture that's meant for 34-inch. And it's not a, you're gonna have to make sure you don't make that mistake. Although most pet stores will be forgiving, you can return and exchange and get the right size. That's another thing. Most pet stores don't carry the appropriate bulbs. Some are starting to notice that their bulbs suck. They are starting to carry the T5 and the fluorescent fixtures. Some still won't do it. I don't know why. So you may still have to buy it online or a reptile store to get it. And it can be very expensive, but it is an investment. It is a long-term investment. Just as your bearded dragon can live quite a long time, it's a one-time expense. It's worth it. Strong lights, you pay the price for it, but it's worth it. And your bulbs, a T5 needs to be replaced every 8 months. T8 less than that. You can use a T8 if you plan to put the bulbs under the mash lid. or inside the enclosure where there's no way to filter out the rays, then the T8 should probably be okay. T5 if you are using it with something blocking its lights, a mash lid blocking its lights. I mean its rays. Another way, there are other brands out there. I cannot comment on those because I don't really use them. I only use this. But there are mercury vapor bulbs that you can use which emit both heat and the UVB. They do 2 in 1. Those are very powerful. So do your research and make sure if it's what you wanted. I would not recommend those for small tanks like a 40-gallon breeder. So do your research and make sure you have a temperature gradient where the lizard can bask and where they can get out from basking and cool off. Room temperature on the cool side, 77 to 75. Again, the heat side where they bask, where they sit, should be about 105 for babies and 100 for adults. For basking or anywhere in the tank, they love to climb. I think they're semi-boreal. I really think they do like to climb a lot because that's what almost every bearded dragon I've ever worked with, they climb. Although they do come down and they run around on the floor and whatever, they do enjoy climbing. A hammock like this will be very good for them. You can buy bricks. You can get those tree branches. You can pick up rocks, whatever it is, make it work. And so it can climb and get the heat that it needs and the UVB light that it needs. It needs to be tall enough to reach the temperature of your basking bulb as well as the UVB bulb. So for T5, you don't want it from the top of your mash lid to where your lizard sits to be less than 12 inches apart. Because again, the mash lid filters out 70% of the rays. You want it close enough, but not too close where it can burn your lizard. 12 inches, about 12 inches from the bulb will be good enough. For T8, again, I would not recommend it for a T8 bulb because T8s are weaker than T5 to be on top of a mash lid. So if you do have to for some reason, and just to let you know, your lizard will need to be closer than 12 inches from the bulb to get the benefit, the full benefit of the rays. So therefore, you're better off just switching to T5. The price is not that different from each other, but there is a huge difference in output. Okay, so number 2, diet. Your bearded dragon eats insects. They're insectivores first and foremost. So if you can't handle live crickets, cockroaches, and worms, bearded dragons may not be for you. You may need to house them for a few days so you can gut load them before you feed them off. You can't just buy it and dump it in a tank and be done with it. They have to be gut loaded, meaning they eat whatever bearded dragons eat, which is salad. So if you have any leftover salad, throw it in the cricket little tub, let them eat a little bit for a few days. Then you can dust them, calcium plus D3, multivitamins. Dust them, give them to your bearded dragon, and then you're good to go. And they also need salads, so you may also need to dust the salad, depending on the feeding schedule. For adults, you don't have to dust every day. You do not need to dust every day. Adults need about 2 dustings on average if you have a healthy lizard. If you have a lizard that has health issues already or bone issues, they may need more. But for a typical healthy adult bearded dragon, no more than twice a week dusting. For babies, however, they need to eat every day. Babies need to eat every day, and babies eat a lot of insects. So you're going to have to dust them almost every other day. Every other day, dust. You're going to have to feed them that, especially the calcium. And multivitamin, maybe not every day, but definitely the calcium is very important. The babies get it. So dusting, insects, salad. They got to eat their salads every day if you can get them to eat it. They're known to be very picky salad eater. So you're going to have to try different types of greens. You have to mix it up. Colored greens. No lettuce, no iceberg lettuce. This is all water. Don't feed them kale, maybe in small moderations, but don't feed them kale every day. It's just not good for them. There's a huge list online you can find about what type of greens you can feed and what you don't. They also eat squash. They can eat a little bit of fruits, like a little bit of apples. So look for the list. You're gonna have to do some research on what you can or cannot feed, and it has to be some sort of variety. You just don't feed them collard greens every day of their lives. Okay, so that's what they need. But Homer doesn't care. He'll just eat anything, right, Homer? He's like, leave me alone. Unless you're feeding me. Sorry. I'm not going to feed you today. You already ate yesterday. So that's food. Personality. I probably already talked about this. Bearded dragons are easy, wonderful pets. But the problem is the tank size. The tank size, the lights, the husbandry, the food. That's what usually deter people from giving up on taking care of their bearded dragons, or giving up on them. Either they got sick because they got the wrong lights, so then bone issues starts to come up, or they don't want to do this anymore. It takes a lot of time and work if you don't want to feed your bearded dragon every day. So don't get a baby bearded dragon. Get an adult. An adult doesn't have to eat as much as a baby bearded dragon, and they cost more the more they eat. So if you want a bearded dragon, but you don't want to spend that much money on insects, get an adult. Adults should be eating more salad than insects anyway. But either way, husbandry, as long as you set them up right at the beginning, you're pretty much good to go. It's very easy after that. Substrate. I don't use loose substrate. It's a little bit of a debate whether or not, we should just not use any substrate. I use tile floors for mine. That there's talk about, you can mixing it up with digging clay or something like that. I don't want to put my comment on that. Just like I said, if I've never used it, I don't want to say yay or nay. I'm the type of person who don't want to go to the vet. If I don't have to go to the vet, why risk it? And if it is not something where my bearded dragon would really be deprived of, unless like a female, I may reconsider. But I had a male bearded dragon, and the first one was a female, but she never even got the chance to even use anything before she passed. So the choice is personal, but I would only warn you that you don't want to use something loose like cypress mulch, which obviously is not meant for desert dwelling creatures anyway, but some people have tried. Or aspen. I won't use aspen because bearded dragons have sticky tongues. They feel their way by touching everything with their tongue, which licks up the substrate, and they swallow it, and their intestinal gut is really skinny, so even small piece could actually block them. When you have impaction, then they need to go to the vet, and then they need surgery, or else they die. I don't know about you, I just don't feel like going to the vet unless I have to. Like, why would I put my lizard in that position just because somebody else said, you need this? No. But okay. And not only that, another thing is the cleaning. Bearded dragons poop. It's disgusting. It's messy. They would poop and then run away sometimes as they poop, and then their tail specked everywhere. It gets on the glass. It gets all over the floor. Any bearded dragon owners will tell you, beardy poop is disgusting. It's smelly and it's dirty. And they poop a lot. They can poop a lot. Mine pooped several times a week. He ate very well before he got sick. Therefore, he pooped a lot before he got sick. So, which is good. You want your bearded dragon to poop. That means they're not impacted or have issues. But you're going to have to clean it up. And it gets messy. It gets all over the glass. It gets all over the floor, on the rocks and whatever. Then you have to clean it. You can't, it's spot cleaning. I couldn't even say it's spot cleaning. You have to clean it. So it gets messy. Therefore, another reason why tile floors like this, these tiles are much better for cleaning. It's better for their nails, because bearded dragons do have sharp nails. Oh, you got something in your corner of your mouth. Okay, I'll pick it up later. So, yeah, tile floors is a good option. Some people just give up and use paper towels. That's fine too. Whatever works. You have to make do your own research if you really want to prefer to use clay and dirt and so forth. I can't say it doesn't work. I've seen people use it. All I can tell you is in the wild they don't have loose sand. They are not from a loose sand environment. The sand it's there, but it's not loose. So therefore they don't have impaction issues in the wild. So why would we replicate that idea into the tank when it doesn't work and it doesn't even have it in the wild? Like calcium sand is a freaking, I hate calcium sand. They stick to everything. If you ever handle calcium sand, they are terrible. Like they stick, they just by touching it, they stick to your hand. And I don't even have, it's like dry hands. They stick to your hand. Imagine a bearded dragon with a wet tongue licking it up when it's picking up crickets or whatever. And just try cleaning a cage with calcium sand. It's annoying too. So, but people still insist, and I'm not here to debate or fight with anyone. It's your animal, you do what you want to do, right? It's your vet bill, you do what you want to do. I just know, in my opinion, if tile floors make cleaning easier, it keeps their nails short. It's actually pretty good as a basking spot too, because it holds a good amount of heat on the tile. I even use it for my blue tongue skink, as you see, and he doesn't mind. I don't know, but I also use bricks for my bearded dragon to give him a little more height. Poke. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. Bearded dragons are not hard. They are actually easy once you have everything set up. The problem is that most people either have the wrong information or they're not prepared, which can explain why bearded dragons are the number one, if not the top 3, surrendered reptile in the country, in the US. I can't say for any other country, but if you look on Craigslist, the evidence is clear. If you ask any rescue group, they will tell you almost every couple months, if not every month, someone is giving up or asking where they can turn in their bearded dragon. A lot of them already have health issues and they don't realize, oh wait, my bearded dragon needs vet care. They are not prepared for vet care. They do need vet care. When you never know when you need it, but it's a matter of when, not if. Even if you think you're doing everything right, you never know. You must make sure you account the vet bills, the money that goes into the vet bills of your lizard. And not every vet is qualified to treat bearded dragons either. So you got to find a reptile vet. Just like you for bunnies, you got to find a bunny vet, not just any exotic vet who said they know everything under the sun. You got to find a vet who knows lizards, who knows reptiles, who can look at a reptile and tell the difference between what a pus looks like and blood looks like. Because I have vets tell me blood is the pus. The blood is pus when it obviously is not. So, or vice versa. And there's also vets saying out there, oh, you need to deworm your lizards every 3 months. Wrong. You do not. If you have a healthy bearded dragon or a healthy lizard in general, they almost always come with parasites just because they eat live feeders. Okay? It's not something you can fix. It's just life. If it comes with it, it comes with it. Just like some people also have some parasites we just don't know about. We keep them in check with a healthy immune system. And by doing that, you need strong lights, good husbandry, less stress. You reduce the stress by giving them enough space to move around. You give them something to do. You feed them properly. Reduce the stress, correct husbandry, equals healthy bearded dragon, healthy lizard. And when you have a healthy lizard, they keep those parasite load in check on their own. Sometimes they do need to be dewormed even though they're healthy. But most of the time, if that become a problem, that means something else is wrong. So you need to make sure that, is the body fighting off something else, an infection that you're not aware of. So it would still require a vet visit, no matter what. And crickets are actually infamous for knowing to carry more parasites than worms. So that's just how it is. And crickets is the it's most commonly used insect protein for lizards. If you could afford roaches, get roaches, but most people don't, because roaches can get very expensive to buy. Or some people don't want to keep them in the house. So sorry, my dog is just chilling there watching me film. So I don't think I have anything else to add. There's a lot of information out there about bearded dragons. The choice is yours. Hopefully this doesn't scare you away. I do think bearded dragons are a great pet. I don't regret having mine, even though it was tragic. I lost both of them through it is what it is. It's life. Disease happens. I don't regret one bit taking care of my animals and you know, making the decision to let them go when it's time. It's just your responsibility as a pet owner, as well as your responsibility to make sure your husbandry is correct, everything is done right. You don't penny pinch. If you can get them the right lights, you get them the right lights. Don't penny pinch. If you're penny pinching, then don't get the lizard. It's really that simple. Why risk it? Why go with the cheap stuff, with the cheap light, and then maybe run into problems later? Yeah, some people can probably do well with those coil bulbs with no issues. You know, they can do well. Who knows? I mean, there's still not enough research done about any of this stuff, to be honest. Like, you know, how much D3 is bad for them? Are we giving them too much D3? So it's all controversial. It's still going. Research is still needed. But I can tell you, no matter what you decide, do your research. Once you make the decision to get a bearded dragon, you can adopt one, because there's so many out there. So many needing homes, so many being surrendered almost, like I said, almost every month. They're always, somebody don't want them anymore. My recommendation, if you're a brand new reptile keeper or a new bearded dragon owner, is to not adopt. I know it sounds terrible, unless you are adopting a healthy bearded dragon from a reputable rescue, from a rescue that you know you can trust, that you know that they take their animals to the vet and everything's checked out and double checked before you get them. Then go for it. But if you're not sure, if they spend the money, or anybody, even the owner, spend the money to take care of them, you may be inheriting their problems, and you may end up with a very expensive vet bill for a bearded dragon that was probably free or cheaply acquired. And when you don't have enough experience, you may not even know you had a sick bearded dragon on your hands until the last minute. So if you were to get one, I would recommend you to go with a reputable breeder, or a reputable rescue. And if you don't have the time to take care of your bearded dragon every single day, or it's too expensive with the insects, but you are able to do everything else, and you still want a companion, a bearded dragon, a companion, I'll go with an adult, or even an adolescent, as young as an adolescent. Just don't get a baby bearded dragon who needs more time, more of your time, and more feeding. So I think I've covered everything. Bearded dragons are great pets. I hope you enjoy yours, and I hope this video, even though it's meant to be short, gave you enough information, or at least some information to help you with your decision making. Do your research, read online as much as you can from sources like beardeddragon.org to get more information.